welcome. This is India Sense coming to you live and straight from New York. I'm Gaurie Dwivedi. Let's kickstart the show with headlines. First up, it's the last leg of the US elections. NDTV World gets you the latest updates and ground reports telling you just how close this election is. The biggest voices on NDTV World. Sticking to the unannounced timeline, India-China complete disengagement in eastern Ladakh's Depsang and Demchok. Troops exchange sweets on Diwali. Patrolling to begin soon. Islamabad is back to what it does the best, asks Beijing for another $1.4 billion handout. Will the latest expected lease of life consolidate China's stranglehold on Pakistan? New Delhi makes big Atmanirbhar or Make in India push in this new era of defense manufacturing. New Delhi is not just a participant but a leader on the world stage. And Apple ships a staggering $6 billion worth of iPhones from India. Move signals major shift in iPhone giants' China manufacturing strategy. And Indians around the world celebrate Diwali. From diyas to crackers to Diwali sweets, millions of Indians around the world celebrate the festival of lights. New Delhi is ramping up its Make in India defense initiative. The bold move is set to reduce reliance on imports and boost domestic manufacturing. Amethee's Indo-Russia rifle manufacturing facility, Vadodara's Tata Airbus C-295 aircraft complex are just some of the examples in terms of what India is trying to do. The initiative not only aims to strengthen national security but also, of course, create a larger ecosystem in terms of manufacturing for defense. As the world watches, India is positioning itself as a rising power in the global defense landscape. This report tells you just how.
From the days of empty arsenals to a thriving era of self-reliance, India's remarkable Atmanirbhar or Make in India defense manufacturing journey is a point of pride for every Indian. New Delhi's defense production has soared to INR 1.27 lakh crore in 2023-24. It's a spectacular growth of 32.5% over the previous fiscal year, with a target of 1.7 lakh crore in its crosshairs by 2025. A bold stride towards self-reliance and global collaboration. And India is redefining its defense manufacturing landscape under the Make in India initiative. Major deals with global powerhouses are setting the stage for a revolution in military capabilities. First, the very recent historic partnership between Tata and Airbus. The landmark agreement paves the way for production of C-295 transport aircraft in India, marking a significant leap in domestic manufacturing. With an investment of over 21,000 crore, this collaboration not only bolsters India's defense capabilities, but also creates thousands of jobs, enhancing the nation's aerospace industry. It also puts India en route to having the biggest C-295 fleet by 2031. Next, a game-changer deal with Russia for the manufacture of the advanced and lethal AK-203 rifles. As India aims to modernize its infantry, the collaboration signifies a shift towards indigenous production. With plans to produce over 600,000 or 6 lakh rifles, this initiative will equip our armed forces with cutting-edge weaponry while strengthening India-Russia ties. And let's not overlook the whopping 58,000 crore Rafale deal with France. With 36 state-of-the-art fighters already in service, India is poised to enhance its aerial dominance. The Rafale's advanced technology and versatility position it as a cornerstone of India's air defense strategy. This partnership not only fortifies India's air power, but also opens avenues for technology transfer and local manufacturing, setting a precedent for future collaborations. As New Delhi forges ahead with many more such pivotal defense agreements, the Make in India initiative stands as a testament to the nation's commitment to self-reliance innovation, and global cooperation. In this new era of defense manufacturing, New Delhi is not just a participant but a leader on the world stage.
In a dramatic turn of events, Pakistan is now seeking another significant loan from China, $1.4 billion or 10 billion yuan. Now, with the soaring inflation and dwindling forex, Islamabad's plea underscores its reliance on Beijing when it comes to financial support. The potential deal, of course, raises questions about Pakistan's long-term economic stability and Beijing's growing hold over Pakistani establishment. As negotiations unfold, the implications for the regional dynamics could be extremely significant. Take a look at this report that tells you the story in detail.
Pakistan is at it yet again. Cash-strapped Islamabad is turning to its closest ally for help. No points for guessing, it's seeking an additional 10 billion yuan or $1.4 billion loan from China. With the economy facing severe challenges, including rising inflation and dwindling foreign reserves, the Pakistani government is desperate for financial relief. This loan is crucial for Islamabad's survival. The latest request highlights a dire financial situation that has raised alarm bells both domestically and internationally. Pakistan's economy is facing multiple crises: soaring inflation, dwindling foreign reserves, and a currency that continues to devalue. Its citizens have been feeling the pinch for a while now. This, as prices of essentials are soaring and businesses are struggling to survive. Beijing has been a long-time ally of Islamabad. Time and again, it has provided billions in loans and investment. But this latest request comes amid growing concerns about debt sustainability, and Pakistan finds itself tangled in a precarious situation yet again. It is a double-edged sword. While Chinese loans provide immediate relief, they raise questions about long-term fiscal health. Case in point, China's Belt and Road Initiative. It's been more of a curse than a blessing for Pakistan. While investments have led to infrastructure development, they've also ensnared the country in a vicious cycle of debt. Critics argue that these projects often prioritize Chinese interests over local needs, leaving Pakistan vulnerable. The reality is that many of these loans come with strings attached. They can lead to loss of assets and influence, especially when repayment becomes a challenge. But the challenges don't end there. Pakistan is also grappling with domestic terrorism, which has further destabilized the economy. Beijing has also slammed Islamabad recently for being unable to deter attacks on its nationals and workers. With recent attacks raising security concerns, investors are hesitant, and tourism, an essential revenue stream, has plummeted. As protests erupt across the country, calling for accountability and better governance, one question looms: how long can Islamabad navigate these treacherous waters? With each loan from China, the nation inches closer to a point of no return. The path ahead remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: Pakistan must urgently redefine its economic strategy and seek sustainable solutions to regain its independence and stability. Bureau Report, NDTV World.
One of the most important consequential elections are set to take place in the next couple of days. America is set to vote on the 5th of November. To understand the issues at play, the importance of this election, the significance of the verdict for India and the world beyond, I have with me Mr. Ravi Agrawal, Editor-in-Chief of Foreign Policy, in conversation with NDTV. Thank you so much, Ravi, for taking out the time.
My pleasure.
It's just a couple of days to go for the elections. Let me start by asking you that you're here in Manhattan. How do you see the election shaping up right now?
It's incredibly close. I think at this point, your viewers, of course, will be very familiar with the polls, which are very split on who might win. I think the thing that all of us are now looking out for is which candidate has more energy behind them. And by that, I mean turnout. So whoever can get more of their supporters to actually show up and vote. And remember, early voting is underway in many American states already. So we already have millions of people who have voted. And I think the challenge will be to make sure that each side gets the rest of their potential voters out to the polls on November 5th. It's a game of turnout.
It's a game of turnout. But, if one were to talk about the issues, one talks about immigration, economy, a lot is talked about, even specifically about abortion rights and so on and so forth. But what, according to you, is probably one of those critical issues or the pivotal issues on which America is actually voting this time?
I think it almost always comes down to the pocketbook. For the broad selection of the electorate, there have been a lot of fears and worries about inflation. But if you look at economic data over the last few months, inflation has eased, economic growth has picked up, unemployment has remained low. So a lot of the fundamentals seem to have been turning in favor of the Biden administration and therefore Harris. I think the question, though, is, people like you and I can cite data, but that doesn't matter because ultimately it's about how people feel.
Yes.
And I think economists get this wrong all the time. Elections are about how people feel, and it's about whether they feel hope or despair.
Yes.
And there's no way of measuring that other than an election, which is why this is as unpredictable and exciting as it is. You cited a few other things. I think immigration matters. People are worried about a flow of immigrants into this country if those immigrants are not coming here legally. Rightly or wrongly, we can discuss whether that is a baseless fear or a correct fear. But it's clear that immigration policy has been mishandled by the Biden administration. Abortion rights, I think, is a huge issue for women voters. And I think if you look at, again, according to the polls, one of the key divides in American politics right now is how women are voting and how men are voting. There's a gender divide. There is an education divide, how college-educated voters will go, how non-college educated voters will go. And the biggest divide is between college-educated women and non-college educated men. And of course, no surprise, college-educated women are more likely to go for Harris. Again, the question is how many of them turn out.
Coming to the India aspect and, the India-US relationship, of course, whoever comes, the bilateral relationship is set to grow. But different regimes take a different view about any relationship. How do you see that in the wake of a Harris win, in the wake of a Trump win?
So before I get into any differences between the two, I think one thing must be stated. There is broad bipartisan agreement in Washington on the US-India relationship being something that one must invest in, right? So Democrats and Republicans in Congress both believe in that. The second thing is that if you look at a trajectory over the last 20 years, which includes the Trump administration, US-India ties have only gotten stronger, right? So given that trajectory, I don't think too much changes for India, no matter who is president. But there are some things that will change. Harris, in general, we think, believes more in alliances, believes more in rules in the global international order.
But if I were to just ask in terms of who could be better for India, this is an important election, but it's also important for us, for our Indian viewers. Who do you think would be better for India?
Look, again, I think India is well served. When I speak to foreign leaders in, say, Africa or other Asian countries, do you know what they always tell me? we wish America would treat us the way they treat India, which is to say transactional, which is to say seeing strategic value in a partnership, which is to say a bipartisan agreement in a longer-term future relationship. So all other countries want to be treated like India. India's in a very good place regardless. Now, if you take Trump at his word and he slaps 20% tariffs on Indian goods that are coming to America, that won't be great for India.
Yes.
But will Trump actually do as he says? Or will he include exceptions for friends, exceptions for countries that have figured out some transaction or route around it? We don't know. It's the unpredictability. And unpredictability will worry a lot of countries that don't have cards to play.
Yes.
India has cards to play. It is an important actor in the global arena. America, of course, sees it as a counterbalance to China. But more than that, again, there is a deep-seated sense in Washington, D.C. that this is a country we must invest in.
All right, in a game-changing move, Apple has exported nearly 6 million India-made iPhones. The move signals a dramatic pivot in the tech giant's strategy. As the winds of change blow, this relocation not only aims to diversify its supply chain but also tap into India's burgeoning manufacturing potential. Apple is in fact putting its money where its mouth is. As the stakes rise, the ripple effects on global markets and the labor dynamics could be very significant, giving a monumental edge to India. How this could happen, this report tells you, and I'm telling you this right from Apple's store in downtown New York.
Apple seems to be betting big on India, leaving China in the dust. After all, a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. That's right. Apple has shipped a staggering $6 billion worth of iPhones from India. The move signals a major shift in its manufacturing strategy. You see, China has been the crown jewel of Apple's supply chain for years together. However, with rising costs and geopolitical tensions, the tech giant is re-evaluating its options. The old adage, when the going gets tough, the tough get going, couldn't be more relevant. Apple is not just diversifying its manufacturing base. The company is also looking to tap into the vast Indian market, which has been ripe for growth. Might sound cliché, but India is evidently becoming the apple of Apple's eye. It's young, tech-savvy population eager to embrace new technology. The company's strategy reflects a shift in focus, proving that fortune favors the bold. And this is a golden opportunity for India. With the iPhone giant also investing heavily in local production, it will certainly pave the way for more jobs and innovation. The global economy is in a state of flux, and Beijing has been at the receiving end. It is battling multiple Western sanctions and taking economic hits at the same time. With inflation and supply chain disruptions, Apple's shit seems like a masterstroke. And the message is clear. Apple is not just dipping its toes in the water, it is diving in headfirst. This as it invests to bolster its research and development in India. The potential for innovation is immense. With India's talent pool, Apple is positioning itself for long-term success. In the ever-evolving world of technology, Apple's $6 billion bet on India might just be the tip of the iceberg. As the iPhone giant and New Delhi navigate this new chapter, one thing is clear. When it comes to innovation and adaptation, Apple is determined to keep its eye on the prize. Bureau Report, NDTV World.
In a vibrant display of optimism, Muhurat trading has kicked off the festive season in the Indian stock market. The annual ritual, believed to bring good fortune, sees investors flocking to make their purchases during this auspicious hour. With stocks buzzing and sentiments rising high, the day marks a fresh start of the Hindu calendar. It promises potential gains for those who believe in the power of tradition. This special report tells you what to expect this exciting trading session and the next season's entire outlook.
Diwali, the festival of lights, has a special significance for Indian stock markets.
And happy Diwali, everyone!
Investors, as well as business owners, look forward to the Muhurat trading session that is held on Diwali every year. The term Muhurat refers to an auspicious time in the Hindu calendar. While the stock exchanges remain closed, a special one-hour trading session referred to as Muhurat trading is held on the evening of Diwali to mark the beginning of the new Samvat. This year, it will be the beginning of Samvat 2081. The special trading session is divided into multiple slots dedicated to specific market segments such as stocks, derivatives, and commodities. The timing of the session changes each year based on the Panchang and Hindu calendar. Typically, the season is held during the evening, marking the beginning of the new year or Samvat. As we bring you this special report, the Muhurat trading session is underway from 6 p.m. IST to 7 p.m. IST. Let's break it down. The block deal is the initial phase of Muhurat trading. Traders commit to the sale or purchase of a security at predetermined price. The buying or selling is reported to the stock exchange. The pre-open session is also called the call auction session. In this part of Muhurat trading, the exchanges calculate the opening price based on supply and demand. The main trading window refers to the near 1 hour trading session where the bulk of transactions are executed as investors make token trades. During the call action illiquid session, securities that are not frequently traded, also known as illiquid securities, are traded based on specific criteria outlined by the exchange. The closing session is the final part of special trading session in which traders and investors are allowed to place orders at the market's closing price. According to analysts, since the trading window is only open for an hour, markets are known to be volatile, especially this year. The focus might not be on profitability as much as it might be on the gesture, they added. The history of Muhurat trading in India dates back several decades. The Bombay Stock Exchange officially organized the first Muhurat trading session in 1957. Even though the trading done during Muhurat is often symbolic, market performance during Muhurat trading is closely monitored by participants as it is considered indicative of market sentiment for the coming year.